welcome back to Nick in Detail. I'm Nick, and in today's video, we're going to be previewing the All Blacks Nations Championship Series, which kicks off in Christchurch next weekend. In this video, I'll give my thoughts on the All Blacks ahead of these first three games, who will be the one to watch, and then give my predictions for how I think the All Blacks will go in their first three matches. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. The All Blacks kick off their 2026 international season next weekend in Christchurch in the inaugural Nations Championship. The Nations Championship was established by World Rugby this year. This will be an every 2-year tournament. The top 12 teams in the world divided into the hemispheres. 3 games in the Southern Hemisphere starting next weekend. Then at the end of the year, the Northern Hemisphere teams will host the games, and then we'll have an all-finals weekend at Twickenham to decide who will be the champion of all nations. But for the All Blacks, they'll kick off their season in Christchurch next weekend, and very much as well the Dave Rennie era. Let's get my thoughts on the All Blacks ahead of this Nations Championship Series. We look at the squad that has been named, and the fact that a few players who are probably unlucky not to make the team, or are not in the team, I think it's going to be a very exciting year for the All Blacks. Of course, I said yesterday in my Super Rugby review, just once again, that level and brand of rugby in New Zealand this year is once again just taking another step up in the ladder, and very much as well, very exciting what we're going to be seeing from the All Blacks this year as well. And of course, Dave Rennie in his first year, in his first game as All Blacks head coach. I think something we're going to see from Dave Rennie is very much the work ethic. That's very much going to be a big driving point for this All Blacks team this year. I think something that lacked under Scott Robertson in his couple of years, but also as well the depth and quality that the All Blacks will have this year, and let alone with a couple of players coming back next year as well. I think it's going to be very exciting heading into a World Cup year, and of course as well a new era for the All Blacks too, which is going to be very exciting to watch too, and of course as well on this inaugural Nations Championship. The first game next weekend in Christchurch against France, then it's Italy and Wellington the week after, and then their final game in New Zealand will be against Ireland at Eden Park. Very much 3 big games as well. You can't really count Italy out of being part of a big game. Italy have actually not looked too bad this year as well, including beating England in the Six Nations this year as well. But I think the big ones we're all looking forward to is very much the French game next week in Christchurch, but also the Ireland game at Eden Park. And of course as well, all eyes will be on Dave Rennie. How will he get this All Blacks team looking? We know he brings that international experience that I really think the All Blacks have really needed over the last few years. He's been in Japan the last couple of years. He coached the Wallabies a few years ago as well, and I think he just brings just a lot of experience, and particularly with those leagues, particularly over in Japan as well, where he has been based for the last couple of years. They just really bring that quality and brand of rugby that I think the All Blacks have really been missing the last couple of years under Scott Robertson. As I said before as well, the players they got to are very impressive, and very much there's a lot of depth and talent in every position. And the fact we saw the likes of Duplessis Karifi, for example, miss out on the All Blacks, arguably the best 7 in Super Rugby this year, I think just shows just how tight and how great rugby has been in New Zealand in 2026. My overall thoughts, very excited to see what Dave Rennie is going to bring. I think very much the All Blacks are going to be a very, I guess, sort of different team compared to how they were under Scott Robertson, and very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out next week against France. So who will be the one to watch for me? Well, there are a few players in the squad that are really going to be catching my eye, but I'm going to go for the guy who, of course, broke the Super Rugby try-scoring record. Well, I should say broke the Super Rugby try-scoring record. Fihe Finianofo. Now, there's been a lot of chatter around this guy, as we all well and truly know. We do know at this point he is available to November, so that means we will be able to see him in this Nations Championship. We'll also be able to see him for the South Africa tour as well in August, and we may also see him at the Nations Championship Northern Hemisphere games towards the end of the year in that November period. But of course, we know how brilliant Fihe Finianofo is. Whether he plays next week or not, I probably don't think they'll bring him in just yet, or at least in the starting capacity they won't anyway, particularly against a quality team like France. But still, he's going to bring a lot of excitement. I think what we've really kind of been missing over the last few years for that All Blacks is just that top quality. Caleb Clark, we know, can be good on his day, but I think what he really lacks is that overall consistency across the season as well. Well, of course, we saw this year with Fihe Finianofo, which is consistent in every day game he played for the Hurricanes. And of course we know international rugby is going to be a step up. Not saying he's going to come in and do the same thing, but very much you've got to base it off his season this year. He's going to be a very exciting player to watch this year as well. I think overall all the newbies in the team this year, 4 new caps in the All Blacks this year. Of course Josh Morby also from the Hurricanes, Anton Signer from the Blues, and we've also got Xavier Numia, also from the Hurricanes. 11 Hurricanes players, 11 Chiefs players, just showing the quality that we've had in New Zealand rugby this year. But for me, Fihe Finianofo is going to be my one to watch, and very excited to see when he plays for the All Blacks. So let's go give my predictions for these first 3 games. As I said before, France, Italy, and Ireland over the next few weeks. I'm actually backing the All Blacks to get the job done in all 3 games. France are bringing over their strong team, but more notably, they're going to be without for a second year in a row. Antoine Dupont is not coming to New Zealand for this game. We know Antoine Dupont is probably the best halfback in world rugby over the last couple of years. He just brings a lot of stability and experience and drive into that French backline, and I think he's going to be a big blow not having him here in New Zealand. And I think as well, the first game, international game at One New Zealand Stadium too, I'm actually backing the All Blacks to get the job done there. Italy, as I said before, I don't think you should actually discount Italy from actually being a very competitive side. They've actually looked not too bad over the last, this year, and also towards the end of last year as well. As I said before, they more noticeably beat England and ended the pretty impressive run under Steve Borthwick they've been on the last year or so. So don't count Italy of getting a result in Wellington as well, where we know the All Blacks don't really have the best records in Wellington. So, but despite that, I still think the All Blacks will get the job done there. And of course, the one, I think if you've got to pick a game that's going to be the big one, this is going to be the big one. All Blacks Ireland at Eden Park. Ireland, who will have their strong team as well, and very much have Andy Farrell back for a full year, and very much excited for this matchup, but I still believe the All Blacks will get the job done there. So the All Blacks, to me, 3 from 3. I just think we're going to see a really different All Blacks team, a different drive under Dave Rennie, and particularly at home as well. There's going to be a lot of expectation and pressure for the All Blacks to really deliver, particularly when the World Cup is only next year. But for me, my predictions, the All Blacks going to get it done in the first 3 games. So that's going to be for me, a really exciting time for the All Blacks. I think something that, if we're looking at the overall scale of the last couple of years, probably should have been dealt with a year ago. But anyway, the change is now, and what a way to change it ahead of this inaugural Nations Championship. I think it's great that within a couple of years, we get this big tournament just to very much kind of fill, I guess, a gap between, a year out from the World Cup to now sort of thing. So I think it's great. It's going to bring really exciting rugby, and very much looking forward to seeing what the All Blacks deliver over these next few weeks. But for me, that's going to be it. And until next time, I'll see you later.